Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tabor Talk. I'm on the other side of my property, actually on the side here. As you can see, I usually don't do videos here. A couple of things I want to talk about today. Obviously, the Monday night debacle, the slurring, um, just complete mess of a interview on Twitter or X with Elon Musk. I see all over the place, like, what the hell was going on with Trump for an hour and a half? Like the whole time, like, what the hell was that? And Elon Musk, the stutterer, oh my God, like two really rich guys who are like completely like stupid. I was just telling my wife earlier, like, this is unbelievable. Like, you think like I'm just an average guy from the Catskills, and I don't profess to be a genius or anything like that. I'm basically an average guy, and I said I could tell you with 100% confidence that I am smarter than the richest guy in the world, one of them, and a former president. Like, not even close. Like, what the hell is going on? It's so bizarre. Like, Elon Musk, I used to kind of like him, actually, and I thought he was brilliant. Tesla, all that. I followed his career a little bit, and I had seen him on interviews like Lex Friedman. I was quite impressed, and I thought he was very intelligent, and I'm sure he is when it comes to, like electric cars or some engineering, whatever stuff that I really can't comment on. And when I listened to that first couple of episodes on Lex Friedman, I was quite impressed. I thought he was smart, and I also heard him talking about simulation theory, and I found it very, very interesting. If you watch my earlier videos, I was really, really into that. Are we living in a simulation? There's a great book by Nick Bostrom called Superintelligence, and I had an NDE years ago, and I was really obsessed with this. And I saw Elon's talk on this, and I liked him. I was very impressed. It was very thoughtful and all this. And then I'm hearing, like, you know what? Elon is not as smart as you think. He's actually kind of a phony, and he's dumb, and he's autistic. He's on the spectrum. I think he's admitted this, and I don't care about the autism so much. And you know what? They're right. They're right. He's not that smart. He's not as smart as whatever. And if you listen to that interview, it's like a nervous autistic guy interviewing like a slurring, like drunk maniac. I'm sure we've all heard it. Just unbelievable. It just absolutely terrible. So, all right, the other thing I want to talk about is Howard Stern is trending on X and Twitter or whatever. And right here, as you can see, Howard says Donald Trump wouldn't pee on his own supporters if they were on fire. And that's not just because he can't control his own bowel movements anymore. Really funny. It's triggering MAGA and all of that. And I'm kind of responding on MAGA, and they're throwing up old clips of Howard where he was doing all these bits like racist, and they're saying he's a racist and all this. I'm like, dude, are you a millennial? Like, you know what satire is? Yeah, it's so funny. Like, it is so funny how younger people who really weren't around for Howard in the 80s and 90s and 2000s, even like he was still huge in like 2012, 13. Then he started to fall off. I mean, fucking gigantic. And I was a huge fan. I go back to 82, 83 when he was in NBC. I've done videos on Howard Stern. But NBC, he got fired. Then he went to K-Rock. He started in the afternoons and went into the morning. I'm not going to go through this whole thing. I've done several videos. I was a big fan of Howard. And he's a satirist. He's one of the best satirists. He did a lot of edgy, controversial stuff. And a lot on the race, but he's not a racist. There's no question he went to the line. He was like, whoa, Howard, that's a little too much. Like all the whack packer stuff, and all the name calling. So I'm talking to these MAGA people, probably millennials, Zers. The Gen Xers will know who Howard is back in the day. Like Rogan talks about, I wouldn't even have my podcast. Like, he was the trailblazer. It was Howard Stern. He was the guy. And then you had Opie and Anthony, who came back. We're not as good. They were trying to do Howard. A little bit different. They were sort of successful, but nothing like Howard Stern. Howard Stern was huge. And What was I talking about? Oh, okay. So, like the nicknaming, I'm talking to these MAGA. I go, Trump got that from Howard Stern. Trump used to go on Stern a lot. And he was impressed with Howard's nicknaming, like terrible names like Hank the Angry Drunken Dwarf, um, Gary the Retard, like really politically incorrect, like really mean stuff. I mean, there was a whole plethora of Howard's nicknames. And when this Trump came around with these nicknames, Sleepy Joe, whatever, all that crap. And I used to always say, that's Howard Stern stuff. Like, did these people know this? Did they know who Howard was? So, um, anyway, obviously, Howard Stern is definitely anti-Trump and all that. He's on the right side, and he's very intelligent. I like him a lot. He's not as mean or cruel as he used to be. He grew up. He matured. Unlike the orange piece of shit. He's a mature man. He's older, and he's a Democrat. So, and he was supporting Biden, and of course he's supporting Kamala Harris. So there you go. I'm going to do a couple of more videos outlining, as I said, Howard Stern's career. I'm going to break down. I know it's going to be painful, but the Elon Musk Trump interview. So okay, more to come. I was going to tell you about in the '80s when Howard came out with his first book. No, that came later. It was his movie, Private Parts. He literally, on Fifth Avenue, I used to work in Fifth Avenue, and he blocked off all of Fifth Avenue. Like I cannot tell you, man, Howard Stern was huge. He was going to run for governor. Was that in the '90s or late '80s? But for governor of New York, and he would have won. He was that popular. Okay, everyone thought it was a joke, like Howard Stern. Come on, the shock jock running. But I'll tell you. All right, more to come. Those two things coming. More detail. Peace, love, and understanding here on Tabor Talk. Okay, like and subscribe. It helps with the algorithm. Spread it around. The ultimate goal is to get to like 10,000, at which time I could do long form podcasts and have guests. So that's the ultimate goal. All right, peace, everyone.